Hey there, welcome to Mad Mel's Mic. Thanks for joining me. My name is Melissa and this is a podcast all about me, about my life with PTSD, about my life with a husband and kids and friends and everything in between. Thanks for tuning in. Hey there, welcome to episode 6. Do we have some exciting episode coming up? We hope that you enjoy it. I just want to chuck in here before we get started that this episode is emotional, it's raw, it'll tug at your heartstrings. So thanks for listening. Have a good week. Welcome to another episode 6. Today we're mixing things up a little bit and we have an exciting and special guest with us today, and I'll let her introduce herself to you.
Hey everyone, Mackenzie here.
Mackenzie, who are you to me?
I'm Mel's daughter.
Mel's daughter. So
Yeah.
You're my daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where do you fit in on the scheme of things?
I'm the eldest.
The eldest. And how old are you?
I am 18.
Ooh, very,
Yes.
very exciting.
Yeah.
All right. So, what did you just say to me before we started recording?
I haven't listened to an episode.
So, none of my family have actually listened to any of my episodes, which is completely fine. My second daughter, Rory, claims that Dad doesn't need to listen to my podcast because he lives it. So, yes. Now, Kenzie, I've told you a little bit about what happens on my episodes, and one of the things is the song of the week. Mm-hmm. And you were given the homework of selecting the song of the week. So what is it?
My song of the week is Ready For It by Taylor Swift.
Ooh. Now, I have a very important question for you, Mackenzie. Is Taylor your best friend?
She is not my best friend, but she is up there.
So I'm on top.
But,
I'm on top.
yeah, obviously.
Yeah, lucky. Good answer. All right, Ready For It by Taylor Swift. And so why did you choose this song?
I have always had a love for Taylor, and Ready For It was the first song on Reputation, which is an album that us as a family collectively like. And it's just like a little thing that's like we all get to listen to it and enjoy.
Very nice. All right, we'll pay you a snippet for it now. So we just played a little snippet and all Kenzie can do is laugh. So that's very exciting. All right. So I know you know that the premise of this podcast is about mental health and my PTSD and things like that. So I think the main reason why I wanted to have you on was just to get a bit of an insight as to what it's like having a mum with a bit of a broken head. Now, I just want to point out here that the only thing Mackenzie has been asked to do is to think of a memory of me and the police, which she's coming up with blanks, the thought of the week, and the song of the week. So none of the questions that I'm about to ask her, she has actually heard before. So it's all very on the spur of the moment type thing with our questions. So can you think of any nice or funny stories from when I was in the cops or anything like that?
It's hard for it to come to mind because we were so young when you were in the cops, and like memories don't really form as easily and come to head. But one of like ones that stuck out to me was when you were working at the PCYC, and us kids would always walk there after school and we'd always get an ice cream.
Yeah.
Which was just a nice little thing after it.
Yeah. And I was at the PCYC in Burke, so that was probably about 7 years ago. So you probably would have been, rough guess, maybe 8 to 11.
Yeah.
When the kids would all have to walk up to the PCYC and then hang out with everybody there until I finish work. So yeah, that was a bit of a nice memory. Can you remember how old you were when I was diagnosed?
No.
Okay. Good answer. Or to answer that for Mackenzie, she's currently 18, and today, the day that I'm recording, not the day that you're listening, is actually the 4th anniversary of when I should have turned up to work, but I didn't. So you would have been 14 at the time of my diagnosis. So yeah, that was a helpful question. So I guess for the last 4 years, they've been quite instrumental years in your childhood, 14 to 18. So what's it been like living with a mum with PTSD?
It's been hard. Like, there's just been moments and stuff where I wish you could have been here with me. But she has to do what's best for her, in which in turn is best for us. So sometimes you just have to live with those hard moments where she can't be there.
Now, I just want to let everybody know this might be a little bit emotional. The tears have already started. I'm holding them back. So, yeah, look, I think one of the big things is that in the last 2 years I've spent a significant amount of time at the psych hospital trying to get better, and I think probably one of the big things of that is me missing out on everyday life with the kids, and I think they're missing out on not having me around as much. So yeah, it's been tough, but like Kenzie said, we all have to do what's best for us, and I'm doing this to be a better version of me so I can be a better version for them. So yes. Now, can you remember me getting diagnosed with PTSD and what you understood of that?
I don't remember like the distinct day of when you were diagnosed and stuff. I just it was just, I don't think you ever really told us like you were diagnosed and stuff. We just kind of like, oh, something's like up and stuff. We never really knew the extent of it, I don't think.
Yeah. But when I obviously stopped going to work, you had an idea. What were your thoughts then?
To be honest, it was like these past couple of years have been so like hectic and stuff that I don't think my memory has been too great recently.
Yeah.
Which leads to like it was just a bit hard when she wasn't at work and stuff, because that was our everyday life. Yeah. Really, it just wasn't routine and just a bit off.
Yeah, it was different. I think we had made a good little routine with the work-life balance, and with your dad obviously working full-time as well, and I was working full-time. We sort of just made it work, but surely it must have been nice to have me at home all the time as well too.
Yeah, it was nice not having to catch the bus to school anymore.
And surely there were some other perks.
Yeah, we didn't have to make our lunches anymore.
Yep. I assisted with that. And your breakfasts?
Yes.
Yeah. So there was no early mornings and things like that. Getting on the bus, it was all a lot more relaxed. So that's got to be one nice little benefit. Now, this might be a tough one, and you might have already touched on it already, but in what ways has my PTSD affected our daily life or routine?
Like there's some stuff where, like you come into basketball games and stuff, like sometimes that you're just not up to it, which, I would like for you to be there and stuff sometimes, but I know it's hard for you. But yeah, like just those everyday sort of things where we would have to make our own lunches before school, we'd have to catch the bus. Like, we'd have to find our own way to stuff when now you could drive us everywhere, which was nice.
Yeah. Anything else that you can think of that my PTSD has affected sort of daily life? I guess the biggest thing, is me not actually working.
Yeah.
Yeah, so being able to do all those things that when the kids were younger I wasn't able to do. So although we sort of look at my PTSD as a negativity, I think there's probably a fair few positives that have come out of it as well. So I've been able to spend more time with the kids and go away with the family and not have to worry about work commitments and things like that. So it's very easy to look at the negative side of it, but I don't know, we need to look at the positive things on sometimes too. So, all right, ready for the next question?
Yeah.
She's oozing enthusiasm here. Were there times when you felt confused or unsure about how to react to me when I was having a tough day?
No, not really. I feel like for me, I've always been really aware of other people's emotions and stuff. Like, I always just felt like I knew how to be with other people, but now as I am getting older and stuff, I find it hard. Finding it harder to react to other people's emotions, not so much you having a bad day, because I know how to react and help you and accommodate you, but like my mates and stuff, like they'll be like crying and stuff. I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't. Like emotions, I don't want to deal with this.
Is it almost like that your cup's too full and you can't take on other people's stuff?
Yeah, a little bit like that, yeah.
Yeah, because do you feel like you've had to be the strong one? I'm not sure if this is a question later on that I've already, but we can ask it now.
Yeah, sometimes, like, it's hard, and then, because with Rory and Clifford and stuff, they always, because they were younger, and they still don't really know how to react sometimes with you and help you, and I find it frustrating, because I know how to help you, and they just don't understand they don't seem to understand what you need sometimes.
Almost like the glue holding us together, hey?
Oh, I try.
How did it make you feel when I experienced triggers or flashbacks? And I've got flashbacks in there, but for me, flashbacks hasn't been a huge sort of issue. I guess probably the main thing I wanted to get out of this is I've had some interesting moments up at the PCYC. Yeah, laugh away. Where I was having issues with anger and rage and things like that. So how did that make you feel, and how has that affected you moving forward in terms of basketball and me attending and stuff? Oh, sorry, we just had a little bit of technical issues there. So Kenzie's lost her train of thought. So we were just talking about basketball and my anger and things like that. So
yeah, we used to play in a team together, Wildcats, and Mum would play with us, and occasionally when we'd verse people and stuff, some sports emotions go wild as they are with normal people. And with everything that Mum has on top of it, it led to her sometimes being unable to control emotions.
Yeah, it's very diplomatic, Mackenzie. Yeah, you can say it like it was.
You would lose it.
Yeah, I'd lose control. Yeah. And how did that make you feel when I was in those?
Oh, like honesty, like a bit embarrassed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was embarrassed. and I think it's embarrassing because I couldn't actually control it, but scary as well, that because I had lost control that much. And I think hindsight, knowing that I'd put the kids and my husband in those situations that they were embarrassed by my behaviour is a little bit sad. But yeah, it's certainly been a tough journey, not just for me, but for everybody else, I guess. Is there anything else you want to say about basketball?
Oh, not so much about basketball, but like with your triggers and stuff.
Oh.
I tend to notice that like when we're in the car and stuff, like especially with you teaching us how to drive, like there are moments where like slow down, slow down, slow down, and that sort of stuff where Rory, I've noticed it a lot with Rory where she it's like, I am slowing down and that sort of stuff. I'm like, but like sometimes she doesn't understand that it's not because necessarily she is going fast.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes it is just because you just need that little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah. So just a bit more insight with that. So car accidents and stuff are my main triggers. So being able to sit in the passenger seat is very, very difficult for me. And therefore teaching the kids how to drive has been a challenge. So yeah, I think that's probably a good one actually, Kenz, that I hadn't thought of. So.
Like sometimes mum will ask us to do something and it's not necessarily because she thinks that we're doing something wrong. It's just that you just need that little bit of extra like help with feeling at ease in the car.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
it's
like
very,
with us driving.
Yeah. It's hard being out of control when you're particularly in a big car and you're learning
and then it doesn't help that Rory just continues to argue with her about it. I'm like, Rory, just stop. She's not actually upset with you. You just need to stop.
Oh, the joys of teaching kids how to drive, right? Did you ever feel scared or helpless when I was struggling with my PTSD symptoms?
No, not really. I think because we were just young, I didn't really understand the full extent of it.
Yeah. But that's something as you've gotten older that you've been able to understand. Because I feel like, as you know, my memory on things is not the best at any time. But I feel that we've always tried to be quite open with you kids about it. But I think being open and then being able to understand is very dependent on your age. So, yeah. How have you learned to communicate with me when I was feeling triggered or anxious? Have you had to change the way that you talk to me if I'm having a bad day or something like that?
I don't feel like I've had to necessarily change the way that I act around you. Yeah, I just sometimes just being a bit slower and understanding that some stuff just doesn't happen right away.
Yeah. I guess there's probably one thing that I can think of that you kids have had to change, and that's doing jump scares.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like hiding around the corner and going boo.
Yeah, I forgot about that, actually.
Yeah, because we were, like, pre-injury, I was doing that to the kids constantly.
Yeah, just scaring each other.
Yeah, and vice versa, and they'd do it to me. But I think sort of once my head broke, you become so much more hypersensitive to all of those things. And I know there were times there where you guys would scare me unintentionally, and then I'd sort of feel just heightened all day as a result of it. So I think the kids have had to learn quickly not to set me off like that, because otherwise they have to put up with the consequences of my behaviour the rest of the day. So were there any moments where you felt that hold on, let me start again. Were there any moments where you felt like you didn't know how to help me, or where I could have explained my needs better?
No, not really. Like, I just, like, I feel like you were very able to communicate what you needed, and we were able to just give that to you when you needed it.
Yeah. I think the main thing about what I've learnt in the past 4 years is the open communication. So being honest about how I'm feeling, and that's been very, very difficult because you have to be vulnerable, and
you need to be honest with yourself.
Yeah. So being honest with myself, but then in turn being honest with you guys as well has been hard. It's hard to be vulnerable because in my head I was the police officer, I was the strong one, I was the mother and holding everything together, and then sort of breaking's made that a little bit harder because I have had to be vulnerable with that. So did you develop any coping strategies to deal with my PTSD as you sort of grew up? I know it's only been the last 4 years of your life, but they were quite significant.
No, I don't feel like I ever fully understood what it did to me in terms of what happened to you. I don't think I still don't fully grasp how it's affected me. And yeah.
And I think it's important to sort of note here that it has affected the kids. Like, I was in hospital when Kenzie got her piece, so I missed out on that. And I was in hospital when she did her trials. So there's been quite a significant milestones in life that I haven't been present for because I've been in hospital. So yeah, it's been tough. Have you ever felt like you've had to be the strong one in the family? You are also the eldest as well, so
it kind of comes with the territory.
Yeah.
No, not really. I think everyone was really good with hiding all their emotions.
Yeah.
Like, Rory was always lashes out whenever she feels some sort of emotion, because it's always easier for her to be angry than be upset.
Yeah.
And Dad has never really spoken about his own emotions, so we never really saw anything from him. And because of being so young, I don't think he understood it much anyway. So everything was just sort of like the same in a way, but like not.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's probably pretty hard to articulate.
Yeah.
As well. Like, everything was the same, but everything was so different all at the same time. We sort of knew it was there, and we spoke about it being there, but we didn't actually speak about it, if that makes sense. It probably makes sense to us. It might not make sense to everybody else. So, do you feel that my PTSD diagnosis has influenced your own mental health or emotions in any way?
I don't know if, like, specifically your diagnosis, but, like, sometimes, like, you missing out on those major events can be hard. And, yeah.
Do you think that you've got more of an understanding about emotions and mental health now?
Yeah, definitely. Like, I understand it more, and I feel like it is, I don't know how, like, I do understand it more.
Yeah. Well, that's good. How do you take care of your own well-being while being there for me?
I like my alone time a lot.
Yeah. You are very much an introvert.
And just knowing when my social battery, I've got a very small social battery.
Yeah.
And so sometimes hanging out with friends can be a bit hard when I'm not up to putting up with people.
Yeah. Gosh, why does it keep going?
Or me not hanging out with them.
Yeah.
Like, I projected my own feelings onto other people. Like, I had this one friend group which I loved them and they were so great, but I excluded myself from them, and in turn I told them that they were excluding me.
Yeah.
I made myself feel like I wasn't the problem in that situation, but yeah.
Hindsight's a wonderful thing too,
Yes.
though, isn't it? Yeah. How do you think me having PTSD has shaped you into who you are today?
I don't know, I just feel like being kind to everyone, really. Yeah. And there was this one, like, school does a bunch of stuff with, like, mental health and those sort of talks and that, and there was this one talk in particular where, like, well, I forget what it was called, but we were, like, split into, like, groups of, like boys and girls and, like, smaller groups of girls and stuff, and they were all, like, talking, like, what has, like, affected you and that sort of in your life, and I had told them about you and stuff, and then just the girls were all like we had no clue.
Yeah.
Like, we would never have understood what you were going through from how you present yourself at school. Like, I just seemed so happy and so, like, full of life and that we would have never expected that. And I think that's a good way to look to other people. Like, you never know what someone else is going through.
Yeah, because we all wear a mask,
Yeah.
don't we? Yeah. Whether it's a mask behind a smile or whatever it is, it's, And what do I say? Kindness is free. Yep. Now, this is going back a little bit, but can you remember how you felt when I retired from the police?
I can't remember how I directly felt, but it was just weird because you were always in the police.
Yeah.
You were just, that was you.
Yeah. Did you have any issues with identity when I wasn't a cop anymore?
No, not really. I feel like no, because I don't know. I just didn't really associate myself with you. You were my mum and everything, but you weren't my mum who was the cop.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
So I was your mum first and then a cop.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I wasn't a cop and then your mum.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's good to know, actually. Are there any things you've learnt about yourself or about mental health from living with me and PTSD in the family? I think you touched on it a bit already, just saying that you don't know what's going on in people's lives and that it's important to be kind. Is there anything else that you can sort of think of?
Nothing that I haven't already said, really. Yeah.
And what would you want people to understand about living with somebody with PTSD? So if somebody else is listening to this, or their family and friends and stuff like that.
Sometimes you need to take care of you before you can take care of the person with PTSD in your family or whoever you know. Because if you're not okay, then how are they going to be okay? You need to help yourself first so that you can help others. I think that's really a big thing.
Yeah.
And just be slow with them. You don't need to go fast. It's not an overnight fix. Anything.
Yeah.
Nothing is really instantaneous in this. So just work with them.
Yeah. I think for me, if I was to answer that question for somebody else, I think I would say just to be there and just to support and know and don't be cranky at them if they're having a bad day or don't have the energy to do something, because this is not something that...
It's not voluntary.
No, it's not a choice that we've made to not have the capacity to attend the things that we want to do and things like that. So I think just being gentle is probably the best way to describe it. Is there anything you wish others had have done differently to support our family?
I feel like I think we're a pretty self-sustaining family. Like, we're pretty able to do a lot by ourselves. Like, we don't live near family. We've never really lived near family for like...
It's been about 12 years.
Yeah. So we've been able to... Like, and we've got, like, made family. Like, we've got people around us who are helpful and stuff, which was really great with when I couldn't drive us around places, and when you were in hospital and stuff, which was great, because Dad couldn't be everywhere at once.
Yeah.
But what was the question again? I feel like I've gotten off track.
Is there anything you wish others had have done differently to support our family?
So in saying what I just said, I don't think that there really was anything that anyone could have really done to have given that extra bit of support to us.
I guess Pippa and Pop could have taken me on more holidays.
Well, they could have taken all of us on more holidays.
What message would you want to share with other children and family members with people who have got PTSD? I think we sort of touched on that already, haven't we?
Yeah.
Just be gentle and kind, and know that I think it's a journey that, as a family unit of the 5 of us, that we undertake together, which is difficult and is shit, because this is not a journey that I would want my kids to be doing.
Yeah.
And this is not a journey that I would want myself to be doing, but unfortunately this is the cards that we've been dealt. So yeah. All right, lucky last question. Is there anything else you'd like to say about our journey and how we've navigated life with PTSD together?
I don't know, like I feel like it hasn't changed us that much at the end of the day. I feel like we've always stayed close, which is good.
I think we're fortunate that we've all got very good relationships with one another.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong, there's trying times and times that you have to parent instead of friend, but I think now the kids are getting to a point and to an age where you can sort of become more friends than parent. So yeah, it's been a difficult road for everybody.
Yeah.
So just before we finish and we get to the thought of the week that Mackenzie has chosen, is there anything else that you want to say? She did just tell me what she wanted to say. Now she can't stop giggling, which is better than crying, I guess.
Just if Taylor, if you're out there listening to us, I'm sorry that Travis couldn't win the Super Bowl for you.
Oh, wow. Send help. We're all messed up in this family. All right, so let's finish with a thought of the week. This is one that Mackenzie has chosen, so I'm going to get her to read it. So you might have to. Anyway, you go.
This is from Winnie the Pooh. He's just got such great quotes in there.
Yeah.
It's a good little thing. But Piglet says, "What if I fall?" And then Winnie says, "Oh my darling, but what if you fly?"
Yeah, that's awesome. What if you fly? And you're never going to know unless you try.
Yes.
So, yes. Thank you for everybody for listening. I know this has probably been a little bit longer than our normal ones, but I think Kenzie had a fair bit of insight to give everybody, and we've hoped you enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thanks.
Just quickly before I go, I just want to also mention that if you are living with somebody with PTSD or one of your close family or friends is suffering with PTSD, I just want you to remember that you don't need to walk around treading on eggshells. So just continue life as you normally would and be conscious of the PTSD, but don't make any significant changes and walk on eggshells. All right, thanks again. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Mad Mel's Mic. I'm Melissa Smith, and I hope you've enjoyed listening. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram, and don't forget to like and follow. Have a great week, and don't forget to be kind to yourself.